Well, it's 3:30 in the morning. I've been up since 1:30, but I'm now filled with coffee and filled with excitement, so I might as well go ahead and continue working on this show number 163 of the Ohio Ram Show, a show about cycling and ultracycling. And I'm the host, Lee Kreider, who just a few minutes ago finished an interview with Shangrila Rendon, who is in Moscow preparing for the Red Bull Trans-Siberian Extreme. And if I mumble my words or don't make sense, it's because I just haven't had enough sleep. Lord, I'm 83 years old. No, wait a minute. I'll be 82 years old in about 2 weeks, and I shouldn't be up like this. Anyhow, we had a great time interviewing Shangrila, and with her was Thursday Gervais, who was on the show yesterday, but she became my co-host for this show, and it was great having these two delightful ladies with their beautiful names on the show. And as always, I invite you to be sure to check the show notes that are on the bottom of the video if you're looking at the show in the OhioRamShow.com website, because there's some very important information there about Shangrila. So, without any further comment, let's just head on to Moscow, Russia once again to talk with Shangrila Rendon. Good morning, Thursday. It's very early here in Ohio. I have bags under my eyes, and I'm trying to get some coffee in me, but we're glad to see you once again. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Lee. Thank you. Thanks for doing another interview.
Oh, well, this is great. And I tell you what, why don't you introduce your friend you have next to you there?
Sure. This is Shangrila Rendon. Did I say it right? Yeah. She's our other female competitor as well. So, we got a female race going. Woo! Yes.
Had you women met personally before getting to Moscow?
No. Yeah. We had a press conference in Chicago together. So she flew in and I came into Chicago. So we had a chance to meet then. Before it was just
Facebook.
Briefly, through social media that we were able to meet.
Now, the first thing I have to ask of you, Shangrila, is this wonderful name. And when I saw it, I said, was she named after the novel Lost Horizons? Or Franklin Roosevelt, used that name to say where the Doodle Raiders took off from? How did you get that wonderful, beautiful name?
Actually, a lot of people have always asked me that. And I did not know about the Lost Horizon until when I was already growing up. But it actually came from my mom found Shangrila name on the watch that my dad gave to her on Valentine's Day. And then from there, I was inside her womb, and that's what she just said. Just name her Shangrila. And so far, it's very unique, actually. Yeah.
Have you read the book or seen the movie?
No, but I've actually checked out the, just researched it, and I know it's a part in China that they said that, well, at least fiction-wise, that no one grows old. It's more of a, what it means, it's a paradise. Shangri-La means paradise, so it just makes sense.
Well, let me give you an assignment, Shangrila, to read that book or see the movie. It was a great movie as well as a great book. Ronald Colman, I think, played the lead in it, and some very famous, well-known stars. But it was done in the 30s, and we won't go any further with it than that. But if you haven't seen Shangri-La or read the book,
I should.
You've missed a part of culture. So tell me, Shangrila, tell me a little about yourself. Give me a little quick bio sketch. And just let me say in preference that we have on the show notes below this video, if you're watching on OhioRamShow.com, links to Shangri-La's page, a website where she's got a extensive biographical details, but you give us a little sketch of yourself, Shangrila.
Yeah, I'll make it as short as possible. So I'm an engineer by profession, and my athletic background, it didn't really start until around, I started as just running on treadmill for 15 minutes when I was at 23 years old. And then from there on, just running a lot of marathons. And I started doing triathlons when I thought that I would be injured doing a lot of running. And then that's when I picked up actually ultra cycling. That was 2009.
Okay.
And
a route that many people take.
I'm sorry?
A route that many people take, including myself, when the knees gave out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been great. I've met a lot of great people, and because I was doing my master's in engineer and also working full time, I wasn't really serious with training until once I graduated master's degree. That's when I got serious with training, and then when I actually get serious and really focus into it, that's when I actually have achieved my Guinness World Record holder, which is I finished the fastest female for finishing five Ironman in 5 days. That was in Mexico. That was 2015. And I also did 8 Ironman in 8 days in Switzerland last year. But other than that, I've been doing ultra cycling for several years, 200 miles, 400 miles. So yeah, it's been great. So I really came from a non-athletic background, but then when I focus myself doing those things, I really just give over 100%.
Now, you were born in the Philippines, is that correct?
Yes, I was born in the Philippines. I grew up there, and I came here at 17 years old, and we didn't really have a lot of money, and I really worked hard financially, working full time, and also studying in the evening. Just I was working full time just to be able to go to college, and just depending pretty much financial aid, scholarships.
Okay, and Thursday, you're my co-host here. If you have a question you'd like to ask her, go ahead.
Oh, there you go.
I've asked her pretty much everything I need to ask her. We've actually become good friends, I think. So. But if one pops up, I will ask, though.
Well, I proposed the question to you on a text message when I woke up an hour before I intended to. I asked this of both of you. First of all, is this your first trips to Russia for either of you? Been here before?
It's my first trip. I was married to someone that was part Ukrainian, part Russian, which is where my last name Dubina comes from. His whole family is from this area, though, so I've learned quite a bit about the culture before I even arrived here for years and years. He was first generation in the United States. But so to be here and experience where his family came from is pretty phenomenal to me. So, because I know all the stories from his family, which is nice.
How about you? Is this your first trip here?
Yeah, it's actually my first time, and I've never thought that I'm actually going to be here this year, but it's my first time. Yeah, it's
so.
Great. It's been great.
As I proposed, what did you learn about Russia on this trip that you found interesting? Either one of you start off.
You can start.
Oh, okay. Well, the very surprising one, which I actually like, it's that the sunrise and the sunset time. I was surprised that sunrise is here at around 3 a.m. So it's really, really early, and then the sunset's around 10 p.m. So, I think that also makes sense why, I'm just observing. What I've seen is that they actually work long hours. And I think that explains maybe because of the long daytime. They have like grocery 24 hours, pharmacy 24 hours. I can see that Russians are pretty hardworking and helpful.
Productive.
Yes. And, They're very nice. They're very nice. So far, they have, they've given me good customer service, great customer service. But yeah, it's the sunrise and sunsets. And if it's in Los Angeles, I would be maybe working a lot more and be more productive. But I love it. Yeah.
Okay, so, Thursday. What's your impressions that you find interesting?
The culture here is a lot richer than most people think. When you think of Russia and United States, they tend to think of the old Soviet times quite a bit, and it's not like what we read in history books anymore. It's quite, it's a rich culture. I mean, we're staying in a very, very nice area. There's a giant yacht club, which I've never seen boats these big in New York or LA in my entire life. So I was quite impressed with seeing that. So the culture here financially is thriving, and that's what I was impressed with, and still am. The buildings are works of art. The new ones that are going up are amazing, and it's been in the past 10 years, really, from what we've learned, that some of these new buildings are going up. So that's what I learned.
And I believe their buildings, actually, they still maintain their culture. It's just beautiful, like architectural.
Well, I had my Russian period when I read every novel that I could get my hands on of the Russian novelists, and they certainly have a country that is rich with art and architecture and literature and performing arts. For you, Thursday, that ought to be quite interesting for you.
It's extremely interesting. My sister's a ballerina, so having the Bolshoi here.
In this insane world of ultra cycling that we're involved in, how did you come to select the Trans-Siberian Extreme, which may be the most insane of them all?
Yeah, actually, I had the opportunity. Oh, is it still talking?
Yeah, it's on. You're on air.
Okay.
You're okay.
Oh, okay. So it's like there's delay. Okay. Yeah. So the Trans-Siberia, actually, when I saw the video, the trailer, I was like, wow, this is just crazy, insane. And, I've never thought that I'd be actually in this race until, I started thinking about it after I made the world record for finishing fastest 5 Ironman in 5 days, and also the 8 Ironman in 8 days, and other ultra cycling. I told myself that, I'm ready for another challenge, and I've always wanted to do something different, something big, especially to actually show what females can do. And I thought I'm ready for the big challenge. And so that's pretty much the main reason, one of the main reasons why I'm in Trans-Siberia, because I thought it's pretty insane. And so I want to give myself a chance to actually, achieve something big. And the second one is that I also want to inspire people, and also to show that whatever past or horrible past that we've had, so for example, what I've gone through is depression, PTSD, or I almost had suicidal in the past, and especially child abuse. That I want to show the world that we can actually make those horrible pasts to turn into positive and amazing things. And then mainly the third reason is because I want to raise funds to prevent child abuse, and I really feel passionate about it. Every time I do big races, I just don't want to do just for achievement, because seriously, doing such ultra cycling, it's just crazy. Sometimes it's just like it's like you're in a war. You still go through, endure the pain, and if I'm only working or trying to achieve it for myself, it's really hard to do. But if I know that I'm doing it for a great cause, which is to raise funds for child abuse, there's a lot bigger reason why I wanted to finish it, because because of the reasons that I just said, and because I want to raise funds to prevent child abuse.
Well, as I said, we have some links on the show notes below the video on the OhioRamShow.com presentation of this show. And in there, Shangrila, I have a link to your donation page.
Okay, great.
If people would care to donate that.
Yes.
And there's some other links there as well, your Facebook page, your website, et cetera, et cetera. While we're at it, Thursday, you also, I believe it is the Kidney Foundation you're interested in?
Yes, yep, that's still ongoing.
So Shangrila, how are you feeling about this race? What do we got, 3 days to go?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been actually training for it. I've been looking forward to it. I've watched the video many times. I've done a lot of research reading. I'm excited, actually, and so far I've met Thursday. She's an amazing person, and I cannot wait to actually meet the rest. I actually met Marcelo too, who's one of the finishers, last year, and I'm just in awe and sincerely very humbled to be part of the race, and I cannot wait to meet the other, participants, the other cyclists, and just to be here. I think it's a great opportunity, and cycling across Siberia, it's my first time here, and I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be tough, but, I'm going to do my best, and since I know I'm doing my best, however the result is, I will accept, and it'll be a great bonus to actually, finish it. And I'm looking forward to it.
I have a question for Shangrila now, and I may have to put her on the spot here for a moment.
I think so. I hope it's easy.
You may all be hearing this for the first time.
Okay.
Speaking of being great compadres with each other, Shangrila,
yes.
Is there a chance maybe that you and I will team up in future races, possibly as a duo?
No, I would love to.
See, we hear it first time.
Yeah. No, Thursday is great. Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. I was thinking about this last night as I was editing the show we did with Thursday yesterday. I recognize the fact that you women are going to be cycling through parts of this world that most of us know absolutely nothing about. I think that's kind of amazing. You once in a while hear these names, but we know nothing about these areas. Well, let's broach a new subject here, and that's women in cycling. I have to tell you that after I thought about your show yesterday, Thursday, which you didn't get to do a lot of talking, but be that as it may, it just seemed like women really don't want any prizes. Is that true?
No, we don't. No.
You don't ride for a prize, and so we wonder why we have prizes at all, huh?
I don't say we don't ride for a prize. Those weren't my words. Those were Paul's words. It's nice to have a prize there. It's an incentive, and it's nice to be able to recoup some of your entry fee and your expenses as the prize. If there's only 2 or 3 or even 1 female in the race, it's nice to have an equal prize opportunity. And that's a big issue in female cycling. It's a big issue in all female sports, really, that not getting the equal pay out. And we put on the best shows, as we've all seen.
I've told you that I've said that many times before, and the thing I find kind of interesting is it's sort of a chicken and egg problem, isn't it? I mean, if you don't have enough women, you don't offer prizes, but on the other hand, if you don't have prizes for women, they don't show up.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. If you want women to show up, you need to offer those prizes, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4 women or not. It needs to be equal pay for it. Otherwise, I don't feel the races are going to be successful without offering that. That's a draw. So for us to have to be in the same group and competing with men, doing the same distance, following the same route, paying the same entry, having the same rules and cutoff times. We're racing against Pierre Bischoff. We're racing against, some of the best ultra racers out there.
Around the world.
Around the world. How do we have an opportunity to get on the podium against the men? We don't.
Let's keep working on that. And listen, thank you, ladies, for being with us here, taking the time out. We wish you both success. We hope both of you win. But that we hope both of you finish. We'll be watching and following you very closely. Thanks again for being with us. And yeah.
And I want to say, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I ran into Pierre at breakfast, and he says hello to everybody.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you, Shangri-La, for giving us the time to interview you. Thank you, Thursday Gervais, for once again being on the show and serving as my co-host. I know everybody enjoyed watching you, and they will enjoy following the Trans-Siberian race as you make this rather incredible journey across Siberia. Thank you for watching. Those of you who have supported the show, we thank you. You mean a lot to us. This is a special report. Maybe we won't see you again until September, but then again, who knows? Goodbye.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.